Today's May 31st, 2020. I'll bring you updates on the second stimulus bill. Before we talk about that, I just want to thank all of you who've subscribed to our channel. C2C is a real estate mentorship program, and your family's finances is at the foundation. And if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to do so. Last week was a very interesting week at the Senate with regards to the second stimulus bill, the HEROES Act, that passed through the House of Representatives and now in the Senate. I've been getting a lot of calls from people who are saying they never got their first stimulus check from the CARES Act. The good news is, on May 18th, the Treasury Department announced they had sent out 4 million debit cards for stimulus payments. It's a Visa card. It's blue in color. I'm also reading online, some people are getting these cards and trashing them, not even knowing that it is their stimulus checks. Please, these cards are coming from the Money Network Cardholder Services. They come in a white envelope. It is blue. Please, when you get it, it is not a scam. Remember, the Federal Trade Commission had been warning people about the stimulus check scams. So people are very wary about those scams, and that's why when they receive their debit cards, Visa cards, which is their stimulus check money, they are not sure. Some of them are even calling the FBI and reporting to the FBI. So please, if you receive those, you have not received your stimulus check, and you get a white envelope in the mail from Money Network Cardholder Services, that is your stimulus check. A lot of people suffering. The jobless claim last week, 2.1 million. The unemployment rate now at up to about 40 million people filing for unemployment. Times are very difficult. We need to be informed about every opportunity that can help us all together get out of this coronavirus pandemic. If you need to find out more information about the stimulus Visa debit card, you can go to eipcard.com and you'll read all about how to use the card, if there are any fees. They have very good information there on the frequently asked questions. Who are the people who receive these 4 million cards? These are people who file the taxes, or people whose taxes are processed in the IRS Austin Center and the Andover Center. So the Austin IRS Processing Center, it processes tax returns from Florida, from Louisiana, from Mississippi, from Oklahoma, and in Texas. So yes, people in Texas, you are included. 40 million unemployment claims in 10 weeks. Should we call this a recession? It's up to you. The CARES Act provided for an extra $600 a week for unemployment compensation, and which will expire July 31, 2020. The HEROES Act would extend the federal unemployment compensation up to January 31st, 2021. you ask me, I will tell you the HEROES Act will be a big help because the unemployment numbers keep going up. 40 million people have filed for unemployment in 10 weeks, but just about 50% of them are actually getting their unemployment benefits. The CARES Act, I think, would help the unemployed and help stimulate the economy. So, two provisions in the HEROES Act about extending unemployment compensation. The HEROES Act 3.1 trillion package includes a 3.1 billion to the Labor Department for unemployment, to extend unemployment compensation. It also includes a $13 raise from January 22nd, 2020 until 60 days after the end of the COVID-19 health emergency for essential workers. Essential workers. So, if the HEROES Act passes through the Senate, then the essential workers will be sure to get a $13 raise, and that will be retroactive from January 22nd, 2020 to 60 days after the government declares the end of the COVID-19 public health emergency. So the HEROES Act, despite what is happening in Congress or at the Senate, it's something that needs to be worked out between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's been an uphill battle at the Senate. I remember when the HEROES Act was passed at the House of Representatives, President Trump called it dead upon arrival. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, said it was a liberal wish list. Mitch McConnell, this week, he said, we have to wait for another month. And the highlight is when Nancy Pelosi told Mitch McConnell, tell that to the virus. Can you put a pause to the virus? Can you put a pause to the hungry stomachs out there? Can you put a pause on the rent people have to pay? I just think that was very hilarious from Nancy Pelosi. So Mitch McConnell is saying, let's wait for another month so we can narrowly craft the HEROES Act. If you ask me what he means by narrowly craft, I'm really not sure. He also said the HEROES Act will be the last stimulus bill. But if you ask me, nobody knows. In January, December, we were all feasting Christmas and everything. We never knew that coronavirus was going to come. So for Mitch McConnell to say that, I know he's serious about it, but who knows? What if the second wave of the coronavirus comes and is even more devastating than the first? But remember, also some Democrats in the Senate, they said, oh no, let's take a reasoned approach. They're saying the next stimulus checks should focus on households that are hardest hit by the pandemic. But the question is, how would you measure, how would you know which homes are hardest hit or not? So it's not just the Republicans who are fighting against the HEROES Act. Some Democrats are also taking that position, that let's not do a blanket checks, blanket proposal. Let's tailor it to people who are hardest hit. Another thing on the HEROES Act, why I think is very important, is the PPP loans, the Paycheck Protection Programs, to help small businesses to reopen, help small businesses to rehire their employees. There was a vote this week at the House of Representatives on the Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act. It had an overwhelming bipartisan support. 417 votes as against 1. And what is this about? It extends the PPP loan to 24 weeks that businesses have to use the PPP loan before they could pay back. Remember, the CARES Act, the first PPP loans only gave businesses 8 weeks, and most businesses say it was too short. They could not work with that. It also reduces the amount businesses will have to direct to a payroll. Remember, the first PPP loan said, in order for the loan to be forgiven, you have to use 75% of it as payroll. But this new Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act says that amount drops from 75 to 60. So you now give businesses more flexibility. Remember, the PPP had some serious issues, and I think based on the feedback and the complaints our House members got from their various constituencies, I'm sure they have gone back and realized it was necessary, to put some flexibility into the PPP program. So tomorrow is June 1st. Not sure how this week is going to look like, but please, let's stay hopeful that the Senate can at least come up with something that can help put people back to businesses, that can extend unemployment, because the numbers are not looking great. Thank you so much. If you've already subscribed to our channel, and if you have not done so, please do so. And please don't forget, in the comments, let me know any other topic you may want me to talk about. We hope we never come to a situation where we have to deal with round 2 of the coronavirus. We all understand the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. We hope that we never find ourselves never in this kind of situation anymore. But please, Mr. Senate Majority Leader, you need to work hard and make sure that struggling families can get this stimulus package while we don't hope for any other second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. We know you can do this. We know you have the power to do this. So please, let this week be a week of blessing to the American people.